Hello, welcome to Brap Life. My name's Angel. Thank you guys so much for listening every single week. It is so cool to see how many people are downloading, how many people are responding in messages and on comments. People are absolutely loving these stories and they're inspired by them. That's the most important thing. That's so cool to me. And just knowing that this is inspiring people across the world is just absolutely mind blowing. Um, this week's episode is somebody who was nominated multiple times. This is Hallie Marks. She is a young pro rider and she is phenomenal on a bike. Um, Hallie stirred up some controversy a couple months ago and she basically voiced some issues that have happened in hard enduro and in endurocross with women not being paid. She kind of put it out there more to get some collaboration and kind of get a conversation going, and it really worked. I got multiple messages of people asking for her to come on the podcast and just have a conversation about it and really kind of hear a little bit more about what she's experienced. So I was really lucky to be able to get her to sit down with me. She's super busy. Um, but she took the time to sit down and talk about it, talk about her story, of course, and some of these challenges that women have faced in motorsports, and kind of a little bit of her opinion on maybe how we could do a little bit better. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Thank you so much. If you guys are listening or watching, try and take a second to like, comment, subscribe to notifications would be awesome. That really helps the podcast. And I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you next week. From the beginning. Well, thank you for officially joining Brap Life. I really do appreciate it. You are incredibly busy. You do so much stuff. You're constantly on the go.
I am between work and I haven't been riding as much this year. I broke my elbow at the beginning of the year, which kind of was like okay, I'm gonna kind of take it easy the rest of the year. It was the
Your recovery, like that's just such an odd spot to break because it
Yeah.
affects the nerves in your hands and your wrist and everything. But
yeah, between that and work and camping,
just everything, it's busy.
Yeah, just going out and enjoying life.
Yep, pretty much.
That's good. That's good. Well, let's start at the really beginning. So how did you get started riding and what did you get started on?
So I started riding when I was 6 years old. I started from the very beginning. So I went from like the 50 to the 70 to the 100, like all the way up.
But I remember my brother got a bike when
He was 5 and it was a present for him. And I saw him ride it and I'm like, I want one. So then I got one shortly after that. And my parents were avid dirt bike riders and they just
brought us up in the industry and it kind of took off from there. I loved it. It's always been a family sport.
So my whole family's
rides and would go everywhere together and do races. And yeah, my
family put on a race called the Crazy Ben XC when I was younger. So that was like the first actual race that I'd done. And I started that like when I was on my 50, like just for fun, you know. So yeah, so I just started out from there and it kind of took me places that I never really expected that I'd go, but I always hoped I'd go, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
do you remember when you were that young, did you have like a dream that you wanted to be a pro, or did that just kind of happen? You did?
I did. I remember telling my mom when I was 6 that I was like, I want to be a pro dirt biker. And she was like, oh, that's cute. Like, you know, I'm 6. Like, I was like, oh, that's a cute dream, you know, that's cute. But yeah, it actually happened. It was pretty surreal when it did because it's something that I always wanted ever since I was tiny. So it just, yeah, it happened sooner than I thought it would be in the most humble way possible.
But
yeah,
it was, you know, it's pretty cool to say that I can race at a pro level now. So.
That's amazing. So how old were you when you officially went pro?
I would say I started racing in the pro class when I was about 18,
Okay.
17, 18 is when I started doing that. And let me just tell you, like, for endurocross, it's different because there's only the pro women's class. So,
Yeah.
like, I started racing in the pro class.
Doing that, but I wasn't technically pro yet in that area of riding.
But for
Mhm.
hard enduro, it was different because I went from I think there was just a women's class when I started out, actually. And then
Okay.
it became the pro women's class and then a breakdown of the women's class. So when I started, there was just a women's class. And then,
Yeah.
pro woman came eventually. But yeah, I was about 18, 17, 18 when I went all out.
That's
And
so young to be doing that. But it's really cool that you were there at like kind of the start of it to be able to
Mhm.
see that.
It is
So that's
really cool. Yeah, to see the progress go from like
awesome.
only a few of the women to a lot more women going and trying these races is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And I admire women for doing that because I know how it feels to be outnumbered and to be a
Mhm.
rookie, and it's awesome to see other women.
Go in there fearlessly and do it. Like that's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, oh gosh, when I was like at 19, 18, 19, I was very into cars. And I
Mhm.
was like into the import tuner scene. And I was usually the only girl at the track. And so, like, now women have like just gotten into motorsports in general. So you can go to a
Mhm.
car show or a track, or you can go to a dirt bike race, and you find so many more women participating. And it's really, really cool to see. So I don't really know what caused that shift, but it's
Mhm.
really awesome to see it. The last time I went to a trail ride back in Minnesota, there was so many young girls who were out there with their families, and it was awesome to see because the first time I
Yeah.
had been to that trail ride a couple years before, there was maybe 2 or 3 other women there,
Mhm.
and so it was cool to see like an explosion happen of just women
Yeah.
coming into motorsports, and I think that that's really cool. But now I want to touch on, you had made this post not
Mhm.
too long ago, and it kind of resonated with me because of what I was just talking about.
Mhm.
I've seen women in motorsports growing, but there's a huge discrepancy between everything between men and women in motorsports,
Mhm.
especially in dirt biking, off-road, all of that. From the gear that we have available, all the way to pro class and any class really. Like you said,
Mhm.
the classes have kind of become a thing where women have something that they can graduate up into as opposed to just one class. But
Mhm.
um, I feel like that's progress for sure. But I feel like there's a little bit more that can be done. We still have a long way to go.
Mhm.
So I kind of wanted to get your take on everything. So if you want to kind of rehash what it was that you had posted about, so for people who
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I was racing endurocross at a pro level with other pro women who were maybe a step above me. So they were factory, like Shelby Turner and Rachel Goodich, who's was factory, Shirka, she's factory Rio now. Like
Mhm,
they're
Were these high level riders. That's when Morgan Tinkey was a part of it. She was factory beta. Louise Forsley, ex factory Sherco, now factory beta. So,
mhm,
I mean, legit women were racing endurocross. And what surprised me about it is, and a lot of people don't expect it, if we don't get paid, but
mhm.
we're treated like pros.
like we're in the pro pits, we race a pro race, like we do
Yeah.
that stuff, but it's just we don't get anything back, and we're putting in just as much work as the guys are,
Mhm,
and it's surprising. It was very surprising to me knowing like how far down the line with the pro men they pay. They
yeah.
pay until last place in the pro men's
Oh, really?
class. They do. Yeah. So
Okay.
then taking that into account and then saying like, okay, well, the pro women also have to do like a full circuit and everything, and
Mhm.
they're busting their butts out here too, like, and
Yeah.
we don't really get anything. It was just a little bit weird. And I understand that the pro men bring a big audience, I get that. Like, that's where a lot of the money comes. Like, totally understand that. And I understand that there's a small group of us, but if we don't get an opportunity, like, then there's never going to be more women.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been talking to some of the pro women, and we are really hoping that there's just a women's class.
Yeah.
Instead of just a women's in addition to the pro women, because I think they'd be surprised at how many women would sign up for a class like that, just so we can have an opportunity to grow. Because it's kind of like they shut down the opportunity to grow by not giving us a lot of opportunities to do so, which is a little sad. It's a little sad.
Yeah.
And I get the same text every year, like, we need at least 5 women for a women's class. And it's like, well, you do have like the 50 plus out there, but there's only like 4 riders. But
yeah,
I don't know. I remember when I was first getting into endurocross, the only reason I tried an endurocross race was because Nicole Bradford pushed for a women's only class there. And you'd be surprised at how many women showed up. There were like 10 women, maybe a little less, maybe 8 women that showed up for this women's class, and I was one of them.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it. And I'm like, wow, this is so fun. Like, I like it. I'm with a lot of other women that aren't necessarily pros, you know, and it makes me feel better, and I feel more confident out here, you know. And that's when I truly fell in love with endurocross. But that was the only time there was a women's only class besides the pro women. So then after that, I was like, well, if I want to race, I'm gonna have to race pro women. So I mean, I was in that class, and I knew I was getting better because they'd lap me less. I'd be like, oh sweet, she only lapped me 2 times this time. And then when I was on the same lap, I was like, okay, this is cool. But yeah, I just wish they'd give us a little bit more opportunities than they do. And I really appreciate them giving us an opportunity to even race, which is kind of crazy for me to say, but I am really happy they give us an opportunity to do so. But I wish there was a little bit more that would get women into it, because I think there could be a lot more women in that sport.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to see it die.
Yeah, definitely not.
Women's class. Yeah, it used to be in X Games, you know, like, if they take the women's class out, it's gonna fizzle away pretty fast, I feel like, because won't be constant engagement to it. But
I feel like that's because I mean, technically I think women could still sign up in like the novice class or something, but I think that one thing that women are very hesitant about is being out there with the guys and being, you know, having to be that competitive with people that typically, and this comes from me being around so many women's clinics. A lot of times women are a little bit more timid and feel that their skill set isn't as high most of the time. Not all women are like that. Some women come out and they're like, no, I can do this. Which is awesome to see. But overall, women tend to be more timid, and they want that camaraderie of having other women on the line with them. They don't want to be the only one. And, you know, they want to know that they have the skill to be able to go out and do it and not make a fool of themselves, because for some reason we're very critical about ourselves, and we just want to be able to go out and just kind of prove that we can do it. So I think one thing for me personally, looking from the outside, because I'm new to endurocross. I think I watched one last year because I was like, what is this that everybody's talking about all of a sudden? I had never heard of it. And it was just like, it was really weird to watch, because I was like, this is like everything that I'm terrible at. Like, I remember thinking that, because I'm like, I can't go over logs. I'm so bad in like rocky sections and stuff like that. So I was like, this would be my nightmare. But over the last that was the thing, is over the last year, I've started doing those things and pushing myself to you know, increase my skill set, and I'm still not that great at it, but I would like to see more women do it. And if there was a class, I would probably sign up to try it. I'd still make a fool out of myself probably, but that's okay, because I've done that a lot this year. So
it doesn't matter how you look out there. It's fine. Once you're
Yeah,
in your
at least
element,
to be
nothing
out there.
else matters. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
what do you find, real quick before I switch gears, what do you
Mhm.
find is the most important skill for endurocross? Like, what made
For
you fall in love with it?
endurocross, I think there's a lot of skills that go into it that you can use in your everyday riding. So it's not technically for endurocross, but like a
Mhm.
skill in general that benefits me for that is probably my, oh man, there's a lot of things at once in my mind. Probably throttle clutch control, being able
Okay.
to um get your tire off the ground a little bit has been
Mhm.
the hugest thing for me because it's just
Okay.
obstacles, and in order to get over them the fastest and the smoothest, you need to be able to pick your tire off the ground. So I think
Mhm.
that's probably one of the biggest skills, and as little as putting my heels down too, so that I can squeeze
Yeah.
her tire. So just those small things that make a huge difference. So
Yeah.
I think
That's
those are
awesome.
the biggest things that I learned with that. Definitely how to
Yeah.
weight my rear tire more and how to pick my front tire off the ground. So I learned that pretty well doing endurocross, I'd have to say, and just practicing for it.
And do you feel, this is kind of a weird question. Do you feel like what you did in endurocross benefits you more in hard enduro? Or do you feel like hard enduro benefited you more in endurocross, if that makes
I,
any sense?
yeah, it makes sense. I feel like mentally, hard enduro was beneficial for endurocross, but
Okay.
physically, endurocross was more beneficial for hard enduro. Because like
Okay.
mentally in hard enduro, you have to really push and really know your limit,
Mhm.
and you have to be mentally strong to make it through the entire race without panicking or having a freak out. You know, you have to be calm, and
Mhm.
in a high intent, like a very intense race like endurocross, that mental
Mhm.
mindset is really important,
Yeah.
especially when you crash because you have so little time to regain yourself.
Yeah.
But physically and technique wise, I'd say endurocross benefits hard enduro better
Okay.
because you're in a fast setting. You don't have much time to think. It's constant, and
Yeah.
you have to use those skills repeatedly for
Yeah.
a lot, uh, a lot right off the bat. So
Mhm.
yeah, if that makes sense. Like mentally, hard enduro
Yeah.
transfers to endurocross, but physically, endurocross transfers to hard enduro. So.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that we talk about a lot is mindset and how important it is for hard
Mm-hmm.
enduro to have just like a bulletproof mindset. And that's been one
Mm-hmm.
thing that I've personally changed in the last year, year and a half. I mean, something as simple as when I'm on the trail, I don't say what's the worst that could happen. I say
Mm-hmm.
what's the best that could happen, because when I'm coming up to something and it's sketchy looking, if I say what's the worst that could happen, I'm envisioning myself falling off of the rock, or whatever it is I'm
Yeah.
trying to go over.
Mm-hmm.
But switching everything to the positive has really, really helped out with my
Mm-hmm.
confidence. And 9 times out of 10, I can make it, but then the other time is just a lack of skill. So,
Yeah. And I used to do something like the 3 second rule. I just count to three.
okay.
Whether it was like I crashed, I just count to three.
Uh-huh.
By the time I got like down from three, three, two, one. By the time I got to
Yeah.
one, I had to be calm, collected, and keep going. Because
Okay.
anything longer than that, then I'd start overthinking and I'd just get
Yeah.
into a spiral. And it would usually result in me crashing again or me being hard on myself. So
Yeah.
I would just, yeah, count down from three, especially when I was hitting an obstacle. I would look at it, analyze it, and then just go. And I'd be like, three,
Yeah.
2, 1, okay. Like, I'm going.
Okay.
And that helped me a lot in hard enduro just to just calm my mind as fast as possible, because I always think that one of the most important things when riding is your recovery time from when you mess up.
Mhm.
Because if
Yeah.
it sticks with you, then it's just downward from there. You have to be able
Yeah.
to be like, it's okay. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Let's keep going. Like, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
It happens. So I think being able to recover in a very fast time and
Yeah.
go forward is more important than people think it is. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we've actually had anybody voice that before. So
Mhm.
that's really good to talk about, because I guess I've never really thought about it that way. I always think
Mhm.
about mindset, like how do you keep pushing? Like if you're in a tough section, like what do you
Yeah.
tell yourself to keep going? But that is really important. I am somebody who
Mhm.
falls a lot. I just don't have the leg to reach in a lot of sections, and I'm still learning balance and everything. And
Mhm.
and so I guess I never really thought about like my recovery on that. I
Mhm.
typically just get right back up and I'm like, okay, let's go. Um,
Yeah.
and I tell myself I do hard things for fun, and I like say that to myself a few times before I do something scary, or
Mhm.
if I'm really tired, I'll tell myself that a couple times and then I'll be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Um, but I like that technique. That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That's what I've used a lot racing. Is just making sure that I recover in a healthy and fast way. Like that's why I'm
Mhm.
like 3, 2, 1, recover. We're good. Okay. Like it's just I do think it's really, really important for riders to just
Okay.
know how to recover good. So
Yeah, that's a really great one. I love that.
mhm.
Um, so this is gonna seem super random, but
Mhm.
you had made a post recently on Instagram,
Oh.
and I loved it because it resonated with me in a very different way from your experience.
Mhm.
You were talking about being so small
Oh yeah.
and, having all of these issues because you're a tiny person.
Mhm.
You're very tall,
I am
but
very tall. I have long legs, yes.
Um, but you're very small. And
Mhm.
I think that, you were talking about basically the way people talk about your body. And
Mhm.
a lot of people don't realize that just because you're a petite person doesn't mean
Mhm.
that you're not going to be affected by the words that people are saying.
Mhm.
Um, I'm a short person who is a lot curvier, and in the last year and a half, I've lost, probably like 80 pounds in the last year and a half,
Wow.
and so thank you.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
it I have gone the full gambit of people telling me, "Well, you don't have the right body for dirt biking."
Mhm.
Like, "You can't wear gear of a specific kind because your body doesn't fit that. Like, you need to fit
Mhm.
into the gear shouldn't fit you," sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so when you posted that, I was like, "Oh my god, like, she gets me." Like,
Yeah.
it might be a little bit of a different experience, but you still understand it, and I thought that
Mhm.
that was huge, again, for you have a large platform, and for you
Mhm.
to share stuff like that, I feel like your vulnerability and your willingness to share that is huge for the women who are trying to get into this and who are trying to
Mhm.
find a space for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, because growing up, I've always been one of the thinnest. I've been one of the
Mhm,
smallest. And then for me to go into professional racing, lots of
mhm.
people have told me, wow, I thought you'd be bigger. I'm like, I'm not. And I've had, I don't know, I've had so many comments just of, you're thin. Look at how tiny she is. I mean, look at her. She's so tiny. And I'm like, yeah, I am. But
Mhm,
it's just how I'm built. I'm just smaller. I have a very fast metabolism. I'm active
mhm.
all the time, so I have a hard time gaining weight because that's just how I'm built. I'm just small. Like that's
Yeah.
just how I am. I mean, it's in my family too. Like
Mhm.
they're thin, they're small. Like that's just how I'm built. So when people continually told me that, it was really hard mentally to be like, it's normal, it's fine, it's okay.
Yeah,
Like it's fine if I'm smaller. Like I can't do anything about it. But it's
yeah,
surprising how many people will comment those things and think that it's a compliment. Like to
yeah,
me, it's more of an insult. It's kind
yeah.
of like walking up and saying, "Wow, you're really fat." Like you just wouldn't say that. You'd
Yeah,
never walk up
yeah.
and say, "Wow, you're short and fat." Like, "Wow, you're really
Mhm.
tall and really skinny." That's like, I don't know. It goes
Yeah,
it goes both ways. Just people don't realize that. So with me
yeah.
being always the smallest, like I was, I'm quite a bit younger than the other women. So
Mhm.
naturally, I'm just smaller. So in
Yeah.
order to keep up with them, I would have to work harder physically, or
Mm.
I would I would have to get my technique to where it was good because they could push harder, but I would need my technique to be good to be able to go with them because they were just as stronger than me, you know, like I have
Yeah.
to make up for the difference.
Yeah.
So it was hard, but it still is kind of hard. I'll admit it is hard because I am naturally small. But yeah, starting out, that was definitely one of the things that really got to me because I got self-conscious, and
Yeah.
the more people told me it, and the more people were surprised at how small I was. You know, it was just like really got in my head. But I had to kind of turn it around and be like, you know what? I'm going to show them that I can manhandle this bike and look tiny doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to take it as a compliment and just throw it all the way around, you know? So I had to start thinking of it in a healthier way in order to improve my riding. And that's just kind of what I did. At this point, like, I kind of want them to be surprised that I'm small because I want to show them what I can do looking like, you know, smaller than some others are. So
essentially kind of like almost quote unquote despite you being so small, you know, everybody's idea is small, petite, and weak. That's what people have in their mind. And you're showing that that's not how it is. You're not that stereotype. You are maybe small and petite, but you are strong. You race at a pro level, you know, you have all of these things. And I think that that's cool that you've kind of like owned it and you're pushing it back, you know, and you're like, look what I can do though. Right. I love that.
Yeah. I had to do that not only for my mental health, but just so I can improve as a rider. And it's so important to be confident. And I'm just confident in being smaller. Like at first I was self-conscious, but now I'm just confident with it, you know? I think a lot of women are self-conscious because they are a little smaller, and it makes them think like, oh, I can't do this because I'm not like her, or I'm not like him, you know? And it's like, honestly, you can do anything you put your mind to. So if you want to go and learn how to freaking wheelie, like you can wheelie, like you can do it. You want to learn how to pivot turn, you don't have to be tall to learn how to pivot turn. Like, you can do some pretty cool stuff, and I think it's definitely more technique. I think for men, it's could be easier with body weight because they're naturally a little heavier than us. So we have to learn how to use a little more technique with our lighter bodies. So we usually have to move them quite a bit more to get the same effect as a man would get. Yeah. But it's possible. Like, you can definitely do it. And I think more women need to be confident in knowing that it's possible than just saying, and comparing themselves to the people who can do it. So
I think that's a big thing that's come out of it. Well, life in general, really, even before social media, people were constantly comparing themselves to each other. But now it's just so in your face. You can look at Billy Bolt and you could see 1,000 videos of him and Manny, you know, out there doing wheelies or pivot turns or whatever, and be like, they can do it because they're these big, muscly, tall guys, you know, or whatever. But yeah, then there's people out there like Crystal. Crystal loves moto. She's tiny and she's out there doing wheelies and stuff all the time. Like she's one of my heroes. Like she's so amazing. A gem of a human being. But I love her videos because she keeps it simple and she is tiny. She's 2 inches taller than me. So she's got a little bit of height on me, but she shows me that I can do pivot turns and I can do all these things. She has a lot more experience on a bike than I do, but I'm working on it, you know? And so it's really cool. I had reached out to her and we talked about clutch ups at one point and like how to make this like easy for me to practice when I can't touch the ground. So, you know, we talked about doing it on the side of a hill and things like that. And I've got a log now that I put my foot on when I try. And
that's awesome.
So yeah, like it's little adjustments. So I can't just go out and do it anywhere. You know, I have to have a little bit, I have to be really cognizant of where I am because I can't touch the ground all the time. So, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. And I think that that's huge. So I feel like on both ends, we're tackling like what any woman might have in her head about why she can't do something. Between the two of us, all excuses are gone.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
you got nothing.
So, yeah, exactly. There's really no excuses. You can
Mhm.
do it if you put your mind to it. Like you
Exactly.
truly can. So,
Yeah. Like I said, was so much heavier like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I had like almost no muscle tone. I was struggling. The first time I ran a mile a couple years ago, it was 25 minutes to go a mile, and I was walking most of it. And now I just did almost 14 miles in a couple hours. It was like 4 hours almost. Um,
mhm.
but it takes time to build to things, and
It
you're going to
really
have to
does.
put time into everything,
Mhm.
especially if you want to do something on a dirt bike. But
Mhm.
there really isn't an excuse. And I always say, like, because I had, like, I didn't grow up doing sports. I didn't grow up riding. Like, I just got into this a
Mhm.
few years ago. And so I always say, like, if I can do the things that I've done in the last year and a half,
Mhm.
then anybody can do it. Because, like, I I shouldn't have been on a bike. Like, there's all these things that are against me. I'm too short, the bike's too big, like, I'm
Mhm.
too old to be getting into this. Like, who gets into hard enduro at 35? And, like, all of these excuses that people have given
Uh-huh.
me, and it's just like, but I just keep doing it because that's what I wanna
Yeah.
do. I've wanted to do
Mhm.
it for 12 years before I had a bike. And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna let anything stop me because
Mhm.
I've realized I can't live in a box. Like, I'm always gonna
Exactly.
be outside of it.
Yeah. You're never too old to start. You're never too young to start. You want to do it? Just do it. I started young. People can start when they're older too. It's
Mhm,
totally fun either way. And
mhm.
both way has their ups and downs. Like for me, it
Yeah.
was the opposite. I was really small and didn't have a lot of muscle, so
Mhm,
that was difficult for me. But yeah,
mhm,
it's just you can do whatever you put your mind to. So I think a lot more women need to understand that they're way more capable than they give
mhm.
themselves credit for. 'Cause
Yeah.
they can do everything a guy can do if they really want to do it, It may not be in
Mhm.
the same way, but they can do it. So,
But I liked your point about having to be more refined with your technique,
mhm,
because you are smaller. I feel the same way. I have a lot of friends who paddle in sections that we go through. They can just put their legs down and it's not a big
mhm,
deal. They can get through it. I fall 18 times in the same section because I can't put my feet
mhm.
down. It's like it's like
Yeah.
watching a dog doggy paddle. It's just me on my bike. Like,
Well, there's
um,
nothing wrong with that.
no, but like I have learned that I need to work on, and I do work on balance a lot more than a lot
Mhm,
of other people because of that. You
mhm,
talked about the same thing. Um my friend Anita, she's from Iceland. She's super, super tall. I think she's like 6 feet or 6'1" or something like that.
wow.
She's got very long arms, very long legs.
Mhm,
She's very tall and thin. And she was like, "I can't believe that, you're doing this." She's like, "You're so tiny." Because
uh-huh.
she can just put her legs down.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it's funny watch it like talking to her about it because she's like,
Mhm,
I just put my legs down. It's not a big deal. I'm like spidering
yeah,
through. I was like, but I can't
yeah.
do that. So, um, but she's absolutely an amazing person. If you don't know her, I
Mhm.
highly recommend you speak to her. She's just fantastic.
Aw.
Um, but it's really cool to just be out there and pushing and trying to do stuff along with other women and seeing
Mhm,
that maybe they have it easier in some ways because they've got long legs or whatever, but
mhm.
it is nice to hear that you felt that you needed to work on your technique extra, kind of like me,
Mhm. See,
like
and
it's
I'm taller, so
mhm,
I get the long leg advantage, but at the same time, I'm not as strong. So that
mhm,
comes in play when I'm like going through the rock section, I feel it in my arms, or lifting my bike over something, like
yeah,
I get tired easily. So, yeah, technique's huge. I think that
mhm,
really benefits women, especially in hard enduro,
yeah,
because I mean, for me, if I tip over 3 times, like half my energy is gone, and
yeah,
that's huge. That's huge. That
yeah,
means I'm exhausted when I come to the next obstacle. So therefore, like
mhm,
I'm gonna not hit it as well as I could have if I hadn't tipped
yeah,
over. So just
that's also where the mental state comes in of being able to collect yourself fast so that you
Yeah.
can go to the next obstacle and make it smooth with the technique you know how to do. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah, I think technique is very important, especially for lighter riders, for smaller riders, you know, just littlest things like that. And waiting is huge because it's different when you're smaller, you know. You're lighter, you need to weight the fight totally different. You just get further back on the seat. You need to have your feet down more. You know, like it's just a different
Yeah.
type of technique that you need to get. And
Yeah.
I think it's really important for women to practice those things too, because we use it
Yeah.
more.
I agree. So, when you were learning your technique, did you do like formal training, or was it just kind of something that naturally came to you? Or you said your parents also dirt bike, so did it come from them?
So, when I was learning my technique, my dad's a really good dirt biker, and my parents are both avid dirt bikers. But as I got more into it, I take different classes from people like Destry Abbott. I went to quite a few of his. I love him. Great person,
Yeah.
great teacher. He's great. I went to Max Gersten. He's really good too. Louise Forsley. Like I've ridden with Rachel Goodish. Like learning all the different ways people do things and kind of just figuring out your own groove while taking tips from them, you know, that's kind of how I learned to ride the way I do, and repetition, just practicing it
Yeah.
over and over and over again. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no bad thing that'll come from that, you know. There's no negatives,
Yeah.
and so just yeah, repetition and riding and going into everything. Sometimes just not putting too much training on your mind, but more of riding. And then that's usually when you feel it smooth because you're not like you're focused, but you're not completely like your mind isn't completely fogged by just training. You're still
Yeah.
smooth and you're still having fun. I
Yeah.
think that's really important to remember because being able to separate from completely training mind and training focus to having a mix that focus on news tips, but ride the way you ride. That's one of the things my dad said is just ride your pace, smooth as fast. Like
Yeah.
those were the things that he always said, and I think that definitely stuck with me. But
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I do a lot of drills, but I try and separate my drill time from riding out on the trails. Um, in some cases, like when I go out with the guys, like we'll go out and they'll session stuff or like I'll session things occasionally. So, you know, there's a little bit of a trail ride to get there. But I don't typically like when I'm out on a trail ride with my friend Leah or something, I'm not like, okay, we've got to train on this and whatever. Like that's ride time is ride time, like you said. But for me, I'm so new, it's not all muscle memory, or it hadn't been muscle memory until more recently. I did a lot of single track stuff. So last December I did a ride and I fell off of single track on like a little cliff. So it was one of my first times on single track and it totally just got in my head. Like you were talking about the recovery. I am just like in the last 2 months started really trying to focus again on single track and really pushing myself to do it because that's how you get to a lot of these sections that the guys are doing. And I want to be able to keep up with them and I want to be able to ride with them. So I was like, I've got to start doing this. So I started doing cone drills and like practicing going slowly and weaving through the cones because I knew that that balance and developing the turning and everything was going to help me out on the trail, and making it that muscle memory of when I'm turning a certain direction, my body needs to be a certain way. That's what has helped me. And I just did when I did the enduro a couple weeks ago, it was all single track and it was like my nightmare because it was exposed single track and then there was technical sections, so there's a lot of big rocks you have to go over, and I was on a bike that wasn't mine and I was like, this is everything that could just be wrong, and that would make me uncomfortable. But I did it and I finished it and I was so proud of myself. And like I think that speaks to, like you were talking about, refining that technique and really doing the drills has been huge for me. But kind of like you said, not focusing on it when you're out on the trail. So I think that's
Well, and it's good
different.
to still have it in the back of your mind, but just
Mhm.
I know that for me, when I focus on something so hard, usually I'm not focused on anything else, and then I mess up on something else I need to be doing at the same time because I'm so
Yeah.
focused on that one thing. So
Okay.
like it's I like having it in the back of my mind for sure. I just can't.
Yeah.
I know it's different for everyone. So for me,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like
Definitely.
that, if I'm just thinking about that one minor thing, then usually like my flow's wrong or like I didn't wait right because I'm focusing on my throttle too much. Like then I'm like, okay, now I'm overthinking and I'm not
Yeah.
actually riding. So
Yeah.
like I said, it's different for everyone. I know for me, I've had to like refrain back and be like, okay, I need to continue to ride smooth, focus on this little thing. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tend to overthink and spiral so easily when I'm especially in a race. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can overthink pretty easily. So
See, I'm the opposite. I haven't done a lot of racing, but in the racing that I've done, I'm just like a see it and hit it kind of person. Like,
that's awesome.
I might freak out for a second, but like I've done stuff in races that I'm like, I have no clue how I did that. Like, if I had come across that on the trail normally, wouldn't have been able to do it, or I would have stopped and been scared. But like, I had even at the enduro, there's like a land bridge and it's single track, like I said. And I mean, if you mess up, you're going over the waterfall essentially. And so I was like freaking out a little bit. But when I saw it, I stopped for like a second and then I kept going. And previous, I had been in a similar section with my buddies. They took like 5 minutes to talk me into going across that section. And so like in my head, I could just hear them like cheering me on like they did that day. And so like they were out at that race with me essentially because I could just hear their coaching and them goading me on and stuff. And so it was cool. But yeah, it's different in a race. It is very different in a race than just going for a normal trail ride.
Yeah, races and riding are two different. I like to say they're like my split personality because I'm totally different in a race than I am riding.
Yeah. So you've gotten to kind of race and ride in a lot of different areas. What would you say is your favorite place to race, and what's your favorite place to ride in the US?
Oh man, that's hard. I have raced a lot of races. I would say the East Coast is probably one of my least favorites. Maybe, and the mud over there is crazy. And those people have a completely different set of skills that that I admire and I want, but I'm also scared to ride over there because last time I raced over there it was crazy. But my favorite spots, I would say Donner, California. It's one of my favorite races that I've done just because it reminded me a lot of home, like the rocks.
Okay.
But honestly, racing and riding, both of them probably Arizona. I love
Really?
Arizona. I love it. Yeah, the rocks there, you can just climb right on them. Like it's just insane. You don't think you have that much traction. You can go up some thing that looks so scary and steep, and I love it. So I like I like those races. I have a lot of history down there. One of my first enduro races was in Wickenburg. And
Okay.
yeah, and I still to this day, it's one of my favorite enduro races I've ever raced. Probably
Yeah.
favorite races I've ever raced because it's just fun. I think it's like 80 miles and it's an enduro format.
It's a lot.
So
Time sections, and that was awesome. Grinding stone is just scary, but for some reason I love it. That's my favorite hard enduro, probably. So it's the one I broke my elbow at, but
But it's still your favorite.
it's still my favorite. I still love it.
That's great.
I don't know why after
being scared there so many years, maybe it's
because it is the race that scares me the most, and that's why I liked it.
You're trauma bonded to it.
I am trauma bonded to it. I am. It was one of my first hard enduros I've ever done, so I feel like we have a connection, you know? Like I'm one with the land there. So
I love that. Well, have you ever ridden outside of the United States?
no, I actually haven't.
I apologize. My phone just started doing things. Oh, legitimately, my hands weren't near it. That was creepy.
That's creepy. That's creepy.
I don't even know what that song was. I'm like, okay.
There's a ghost among us.
Anyway, yeah, I guess it is that time of year.
Yeah, it is that time of year.
That was creepy. I live alone, so now I'm like,
Oh no.
I'm in the middle of the desert. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so you haven't been outside the US for riding.
Mm-hmm.
If you could choose anywhere in the world, all expenses paid, where would you go to either race or ride, or you can pick one of each? It's my favorite question because very few people have an answer right away.
Well, to race it'd be Roof of Africa. I feel like
Ooh.
that is it just looks like a super cool race. And I've always wanted to go to the environment there and just see Africa in general, but to race there would be even better. And I would always love I would kill for a chance to race there, honestly.
That'd be awesome.
So that's one of my dream races. And then for riding, may seem simple, but I know a lot of people in British Columbia, and I would actually really like to go riding.
Yeah.
I'm a mountain person, so when I ride, like, I really want to be in the mountains. Arizona's its own thing, you know, but I love the mountains. So outside the US, I probably want to be in the mountains.
More mountains. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Either British Columbia or maybe Romania. I don't know. They're both mountainous.
Mm-hmm. So. Romania's pretty crazy from what I hear.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard it's its own world over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a few people who've done Romaniacs, and it's totally different. They said it's it's insane. And you can train on similar terrain here, but it's still not the same. You're still going to be riding in something completely new, and just like it's absolutely insane. And the hills, oh my God, the climbs rather are scary. That's what I was told. They're scary.
Yeah. On the videos, they look scary. So therefore, in person, they're probably 10 times worse.
Yeah. I don't know what possessed me to want to do Romaniacs, but yeah, that's it'll be interesting. I'm afraid of downhill, so I'm trying to get over that fear. The plan right now is for me to do 2026 Romaniacs, Atom class. But yep.
Mm-hmm. Good for you. That is awesome. You're living one of my dream races right there. That is awesome. Good for you.
A lot of people have told me the same thing. But I'm older. I have a dispensable income. Not that dispensable, but I'm working on it. And I went to Erzberg this year, and I just went to go see it. Because that was the first race I ever watched of Hard Enduro. I watched it way back in 2014 before I even had a bike, like years before I had a bike. I'm really weird. Cody Webb likes to make fun of me because I actually knew who Cody Webb was before I knew who like Ryan Villapoto or anybody in motocross and supercross was. I knew Graham Jarvis and Andres Lettenbichler. I knew all of those guys. Like, it was so funny when I told Cody that. He's like, that's different. He's like, I don't think I've ever heard that before. But yeah, I'm the first year that I watched Hard Enduro was the first year Manny Lettenbichler finished, and he was the youngest person to finish Erzberg at 16. So,
Yeah.
like, I remember watching Manny, so that was 10, 11 years ago.
Mhm.
Like, it was crazy. So I feel like I've
Yeah.
watched him grow up. It's kind of
That's-
funny.
Oh, that's cool though. That's cool to
Yeah.
know.
So
Yeah.
going out there and like watching those guys go through Carl's Diner, which is the first section I ever saw,
Mhm.
I was just like, I was almost crying. Like, it was like
Aw.
so many of my heroes like going through, like,
Yeah,
you know,
all in one place.
it was exactly. It was
Yeah.
so awesome. It's such a cool experience. So,
That's awesome.
you know, Champion Brick, the team went over and they did Romaniacs, I think it was just, yeah, this year. And then Matt Adams had done it a couple years ago and he was talking to me about it last year. And so I've been watching it forever, but knowing people
Mhm.
who are there is totally different and
Yeah.
kind of hearing about the experience. And so I was like, I've got to do this. Like, I did Erzberg this year. Next year I've got to do Romaniacs, but like actually race it. And
Yeah.
so that's the
Well,
plan.
that is awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. That makes me so happy to hear that you're going over there to do that.
Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you.
awesome. Yeah.
It'll
You'll
be
have to
really,
post
really
a lot and you'll have to
Mhm.
let everyone know how it goes. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's part of the reason I'm getting my suspension redone right now. So I don't have a bike right
Mhm.
now. But when I get it back, it's like hardcore training. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back to the East Coast so I can do a lot of training out there because that's where the closest terrain that you can get to Romania is kind of like out in that direction, Kairos and all of that stuff in West Virginia. So that's the plan as of right now, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
exciting. Good for you.
so you should come out and ride with me some point. Like come
Yes.
and train with me, and then maybe we could
Mhm.
just like, you know, somehow get you over to Romania too.
There we go. Perfect. Well, unfortunately, if I could afford it, I would. But at this stage in my life, I can't afford to probably go over there. But in the future, you'll have to go again.
I'm
and
just
then I'll
going
go
with
you.
like I'm gonna win the lottery and I'm gonna bring like 8 people with me. We're just all
There
gonna
we
go.
go.
That's the plan.
There we go. Montana Millionaire is coming up for us, so like
There you go.
I gotta go. I gotta go start gambling here. Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely insane for somebody at my skill level to even be thinking about this. A lot of people are like, "You're crazy." Like I've had A riders and pro riders who are like, "Dude, I wouldn't even do that." I'm like, "I'm doing atom class. I'm not doing like silver. I'm not doing bronze. Like I'm doing the lowest class."
But
And
that's still huge. Like even
yeah,
going over there in the first place to race, no matter what class it is huge. Regardless,
yeah,
it doesn't matter what class you're in. So
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
super
I
cool.
just like we talked about before. I want to inspire people. If I can go over and I can just survive it, like, you know, then maybe it'll inspire somebody, you know, to be able to go and actually do well, you know. And I just want to see hard enduro grow and I want to see like more people from overseas come over here and race here. I want to see more people from here go over there. And you know, I just feel like if it grows more, we can have more of that exchange of riders going around. So,
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. And of course, my main focus is, of course, helping women and getting women, you know, to go. But I know some amazing women, and like I think that so many of them have the skill to go and do that. So, oh no, I keep pushing everybody, but I know I'm like, you
Yeah.
should go.
Well,
You
I
should
love
go.
that. It's inspiring for me to hear that. So that means you're doing a good job.
Oh, cool. That means a lot to me. It really does. Because like I said, I've been watching you and your riding, and you've been a hero of mine since I started watching you. So this was a really cool opportunity to get to talk to you. And now you just saying that, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, I'm happy that I was able to inspire you, and I love inspiring the community and women in general.
I love it.
It brings me so much joy to know that I inspire people like that. So I appreciate that.
It's really cool. Speaking of inspiring, so one of the things about this podcast is we have a lot of people who are newer to riding or who are just about to get into riding. This podcast has inspired at least 12 people to start riding.
That's exciting.
So with that, at least people that have told me. So with that, I like to always get a tidbit of information from everybody. So if you could give your best advice for someone who's brand new on a dirt bike, what would it be?
Who's brand new on a dirt bike. Don't be afraid of crashing, because crashing is really good. Crashing is one of the best things you can do. And then honestly, when you get better, you just learn how to crash. Like for me, I crash all the time. I just get better at crashing. You never stop crashing.
Yeah.
So, and don't be discouraged if you don't get something the first time. You're gonna have to try things over and over, and that's okay. That's how you get better. Just remember to recover fast enough, like in your head. Be positive and have those 3 seconds of just recovery and breathe and keep going.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Yeah. I know that for me, when I was starting out, I was terrified of crashing, terrified. And I crashed all the time. Learning how to wheelie, I probably broke so many rear fenders off learning how. It's normal. It's a normal process. So if you crash, don't beat yourself up. Just don't be afraid of crashing. Because I feel like that was definitely something that held me back from learning a lot, was the what if.
Yeah.
So
just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
All right.
Nothing holding you back. Yeah.
And what about for somebody who's just getting into hard enduro?
Getting into hard enduro? I'd say not to get too wrapped up in your mind. I know that mentally it's really important in hard enduro to be confident and to remain calm. So when you're getting into those harder situations, remember to breathe and not just rush yourself and try to make, I know you need to make a quick decision, but don't really, really rush yourself to the point that you're getting overwhelmed and you overthink.
Yeah.
Just make sure you stay calm and that you go through it one obstacle at a time. If you do it one thing at a time and go your pace, you'll be moving faster than you think you will be. So I think it's really important to just be calm and have that mental strength to, if you crash, get back up, keep doing it, smooth as fast. So
I like it.
Yeah, that's my advice for that.
I like it. Going back to a previous topic, we had talked about kind of how things need to change a little bit in the industry. If you could make a change or see a change, how do you think that we should proceed going forward to help this issue of this discrepancy in the industry?
I think that it depends on what industry you're in. I know for hard enduro, they're doing really good with getting more women involved, and I think they're doing a better job at promoting the women, and I thank them so much for that. They're doing way better than they were when I first started. So I do appreciate them for that. For Endurocross, I'd say just giving us more of an opportunity, get another women's class just to have more women come out. I know that some of the women have talked to me about, or the pro women have said, do a women's class. Maybe they don't have to be in the main, but their main can be before, all people come in. Make there be an option.
Yeah.
Women just getting into it, And I think they GNCC and other races, they're doing really good on the women's side of things. I do think it depends on what type of racing we're talking about, but I know specifically for the ones I'm familiar with that hard enduro is getting better, but Endurocross could just have a little push, And I think if more women could maybe reach out to Endurocross and just say how they want to race, or what I did, and I posted just because I had to, because I don't want it to die. Just
Yeah.
if you have a voice, speak up. It's fine. Like, make your voice heard,
Yeah.
and hopefully that'll move mountains, because I
Yeah.
really don't want it to die, and I really hope that there's a women's class in the near future can
Yeah.
get more of you girlies out there, because I know there's a lot of tough women out there who'd like to give it a shot. So,
Yep. We definitely need to see more ladies out there. I think part of it is the confidence, and the other part of it that I see as a barrier a lot of times is the entry fee. A lot of the times women are moms, and or they're young college students, and so there's not a lot of money on either side. So I'm personally working on trying to help get a little bit of sponsorship to help alleviate that. But anything I can do to try and help remove barriers. Like I said, for Hard Enduro, I've been trying to help with like women's clinics and stuff like that, and just getting clinics in general. It's just helpful because it builds the confidence, and then with that confidence comes being able to sign up and things like that. But the money is a big factor.
Yeah, the money is a huge factor.
And I think a women's sponsor, like a women's specific sponsor for that, would probably help a lot. I know that I've talked to some other people about it, and a woman's sponsor would probably be pretty big for it. But
yeah,
just hope that we make a big enough impact from. Hopefully, my post reached a lot of people, and that makes an impact. And I hope that the women showing up to the one race can kind of like show them there's still women out there that want to race.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, I think it really depends on the type of racing for the type of support the people are giving the women. So
yeah, I agree. Well, again, I really, really appreciate you being vulnerable, putting your stuff out there. It makes a huge difference for those of us who are just getting into this, seeing somebody who's so influential in the sport, who's willing to talk about these things and willing to share that, you have insecurities and you have things that you're working through. You're not just, to us, you seem really perfect, but you have insecurities, you have crashes, you have all of these things. And it's really cool to see that, because it makes you relatable, and it makes it more attainable for us. So I really appreciate the fact that you show that. And I just want to say thank you from a bunch of us women who've been watching you.
Well, I appreciate that. I like being vulnerable. I try to be as honest as I can on my social platforms, and to show the fails just as much as I show the success, because I do think that social media has a way of taking out all the imperfections. So I try to show them as much as I can. Like, I'm a normal person. I go to work all the time. I work all the time. 6-7 days a week. Like, I do have insecurities. I crash all the time. It is important to show those things. So and I appreciate all the support I get.
Good.
Everyone who supports me, all you guys. So
perfect. Well, this is actually your time to give all your shout outs and thank yous.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say a huge thanks to my supporters. That includes sponsors. Like, I don't need to shout out anyone in particular. I just think that everyone who's supported me this far has made a huge impact, and I wouldn't be where I am without you guys. So everyday people that comment on my posts, or people who respond to my stories, like you guys and my sponsors who made it possible for me to go to these races and become like the person who I dreamed about when I was 6. It just all leads back to you guys and the support that I've gotten. So I don't really have anyone in particular, but just everyone who supported me. So
that's awesome. I love that. That's really cool. Well, thank you again so much for all your time. I really appreciate it. Again, knowing that you're so busy, you're constantly going. So
keeps life exciting, I guess.
Yes, it does. Well, hopefully we'll see you at a race. Do you have any plans that you can talk about for 2026?
I don't really have any plans that right now. I was kind of gonna wing it and see how
Okay.
it goes. So,
Okay.
I was taking a step back from hard enduro because hard enduro is brutal for time, and
Yeah.
I just need a little bit of a mental and physical wellness check. So,
Yeah.
I was taking a break from that for a little bit, but I'm still gonna do some of my favorite races next year. I can't go a full year without doing some of my races. Like this year was a year where I broke something, and it was really hard for me to regain strength right in my elbow. It was very
Yeah.
weird. But I know next year I will definitely be going to some more races. I wanted to mix it up and do some faster races to
Yeah.
because I know that I've always done hard enduro and endurocross. They're pretty slow. I mean, you get some speed sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mix it up a little bit and include some speed. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna
Ooh.
probably do grinding stone for sure next year, even though I broke my elbow. I gotta get redemption now.
You got to get redemption. Exactly.
I do. I have to do it now. There's really no choice.
Yeah.
And for that, and I'm crossing my fingers for Endurocross because it's still my favorite, and I really want to do
Yeah.
at least 1 or 2 races next year for that.
Yeah.
But I'll for sure be at some races. I'll have to decide what my budget allows when that time comes. But I'm for sure gonna be at some. So
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you. And like I said, we missed you this year. You know, after you got
Yeah.
hurt, a lot of people were like, "Where's Hallie?" So
I know. I miss my race family. I miss being out
yeah.
there. Like
Mhm.
I was so excited to do some of the races I was planning, and then I wasn't able to. So
Yeah.
I'll be
It's
back.
hard.
I'll be back.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we look forward to your return.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and thank you for having me. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was a blast. Well, we'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye.